This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. June 13th through 17th, the Origins Game Fair is coming to Columbus, Ohio. It's the second largest board game convention in North America. So I'm going to be going there. I've already produced 2 top 10 videos about the games being there. One of them was my top 10 anticipated games that you could go there and actually buy because they're all for sale and I'm excited about. The second one were the top 10 games that I've already played that are amazing that are releasing there, most of them, 8 of the 10, to go check those out. That list is amazing. And this last list is going to be top 10 upcoming games that I want to play at Origins. So these are ones that are not going to be for sale, but they're going to be demoing, and the reasons why these things seem interesting to me, and maybe you'll want to check them out too, and that you didn't really know anything about them. So here we go.
Number 10.
Number 10 is called Holding On, The Troubled Life of Billy Kerr, and it's by Hub Games. This is a cooperative game where players work as a nursing staff tasked with providing care for the terminally ill. That's an amazing theme. Your latest patient has been rushed. They've been rushed into with a massive heart attack on a flight from Sydney to London. Now when the game begins, all you know is this. His name's Billy Kerr. He's 60 years old and he's been given days to live. Now players must work together to provide Billy with appropriate care, and you're going to be responding to medical emergencies while gaining his trust. Now over the 10 fully replayable scenarios, you'll be trying to piece together a lifetime of memories while being drawn deeper into his troubled past. So as you discover more about Billy, you're trying to help him, and you're trying to help him find his courage to help confront those 3 regrets that keep him holding on. Wow. That alone just gives me chills. I love seeing games with unique themes. I love cooperative play. I have not heard or played any of the games from this publisher before, so I'm looking to go meet them. And hopefully I'll be very surprised about how good this game will be. I hope it actually lives up to what I feel this game can be. And so that's The Life of Billy Kerr.
Number 9.
Number 9 is called Franchise. It's from Queen's Games. Now it's 2 to 5 players, takes about an hour to play, and it's for ages 12 and up. Now you'll be entrepreneurs, you'll be bringing life to the American dream in the USA in the 1960s. Now you'll be starting with a very small, newly founded business such as a car rental, a diner, or a coffee shop, and you'll be expanding into other towns and cities, and you'll be adding branches to your own business. You'll be increasing your income and influence throughout the game. Now I love economic games, and this sounds like a good family level game that can be played within an hour while trying to run your own business, and I love economic games that do that. So I'm hoping that maybe this can be sort of a 1-hour feeling of like Food Chain Magnate, but we'll see. That's what I'm hoping this game will be, is something that's very interesting, running business. You can learn a lot of things with it in real life as well, but that it's fun. So we'll check this one out at the Queen Games booth, and that's Franchise.
Number 8.
Number 8 is Duelists Island by Pandasaurus Games. Now this is a 2-player tactical game. It's set in the Dinosaur Island universe, but it only takes 30 to 45 minutes to play, and it's for ages 10 and up. Now it's built around sort of a hand management mechanism where each card in the game serves 3 different purposes. They contain the DNA sequences for dinosaurs that you could create, the blueprints for attractions that you can build, and certain actions that you can take by discarding them. Now I love multi-use cards in games, and in this one you'll be deciding to either create the dinosaur on top of the card, and that will help you attract guests to your park, or you'll be building the attraction on the bottom of the card, which can be added to the player's hand limit, and you can add income and endgame victory points. So, or do you want to just discard that card to combine the DNA towards creating another dinosaur? So it sounds like this has a lot of great game packed into a relatively short time frame. Now, I love 2-player tactical games, and I'm really looking forward to trying this one out, and it's from Pandasaurus Games.
Number 7.
The next one is called Lords of Baseball by Laboratory H. This is for 1 to 8 players. Takes anywhere between 90 minutes and 2.5 hours, I'm sure depending on the amount of players, and it's for ages 10 and up. Now, this appears to be a heavier game because on the Board Game Geek it has a rating of 4 out of 5 for its heaviness. Now, the term Lords of Baseball is referring to the moguls on the business end of baseball. So it's the people who make the decisions and cut the paychecks for everyone. So in Lords of Baseball, you're going to be taking on the role of one of these owners of a baseball team. How cool is that? Now, you'll need to build an entire organization, not just a major league team, because it's not just about winning the World Series. It's about doing the little things that help you score points throughout the game and throughout the life of 20 years that could possibly make you the Lords of Baseball. It's a card-driven game where players will take control of fictional organizations and you'll build them from the ground up. You'll be investing money into the farm system, the front office, the field manager, and you'll be trying to build a team dynasty. So you'll be doing this over the course of 5 seasons, and owners will use these investments to score victory points. And those investments will not only score victory points, but they'll also give you certain privileges during the gameplay. So wow, I love baseball and I love economic and business games. This seems to check all of those boxes. I can't wait to check this out, play it, see what it's all about. I believe it's coming to Kickstarter later this year. But man, I cannot wait to go check this one out and just hope. When I was a kid, I used to play Status Pro Baseball. When I was like 8 years old, all summer long, we would just play this card-driven game where you're building teams and stuff and look-up tables and doing stats. And wow, this looks heavy like that too, but a much more grandiose scale. Can't wait.
Number 6.
Number 6 is City of Gears by Gray Fox Games. Now this is for 2 to 4 players, takes about 45 minutes to play, it's for ages 8 and up. Now this is a steampunk game of exploration, area control, worker placement, and engine building. All of those are things that I absolutely love. Put them together, I'm probably going to be a happy guy. Now you'll be basically roll a number of production dice, because this game has dice in it, which I know not a lot of people like, but I'm sure they've figured out clever ways to use them. You're going to be activating city tiles. Then you'll be moving your automation workers to perform a variety of actions. Now, since only 9 of the city tiles, and there's dozens of them available, since only 9 of them are randomly chosen and played with each game, there's a ton of replayability built in with the puzzliness of the setup. Now, I love games that have randomized setups, and in which they help change the puzzle for each game, and those tend to have a lot of staying power with me. Also, this was originally going to be a Dice Tower Essentials game, so that also sort of boosts the game up in my mind as well. And finally, Gray Fox tends to only put out a few games a year, but they always put out well-done games, and I trust their judgment in good games. So this one is City of Gears, and it's going to be at the Gray Fox booth at Origins.
Number 5.
Number 5 is the Sagrada 5 and 6 player expansion by Floodgate Games. Now I love Sagrada, so being able to play with more people really appeals to me. However, it doesn't just add 2 more players, because much like me, I bet you're worried that adding more players will make that Serpentine draft style have way too much downtime. Well, they've added a private dice pool that each player gets, and you'll be taking 1 die from that private dice pool and 1 from the public dice pool. So you can do a lot of planning and sort of manipulation on your turn and thinking what's going on while others are drafting. And I believe you can actually also use the private dice pool with less than 5, but don't quote me on that. It's something, a conversation I thought I had at Gamma. And so it also includes new private objectives, tools, and window pattern cards. For me, this sounds like a no-brainer, and I can't wait to try this new private dice pool rules with the 5 to 6 players and also hopefully play it with the normal player count. Again, I love Sagrada, and this looks like it's going to take that to the next level for me.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Adrenaline Team Play by CGE, Chex Game Edition. Now this is the expansion for the popular game Adrenaline, which I love. But now you can play with up to 6 players, and it introduces character-specific weapons and abilities, which is cool because now you have your own little things there, and new effects to help, ramp up the experiences of the game. Now it also adds an adrenaline rush system that helps boost your own epic shot. So a new team mode requires effective communication. You'll be trying to communicate to work together. You're going to be trying to combine your abilities and use the position of your opponents to your advantage. Now you're going to be trying to you also be creating sophisticated strikes as you're planning with your teammate, and those things are supposedly and hopefully are going to make this game even better than the original game. Also, winning conditions are set at the beginning of each game for a bigger variety of how to play and win. So it looks like they've done a lot of thinking. CGEs are no dummies. They always produce really good stuff. And every time they touch something, I'm always impressed with how much development work they've done. And I love the original game, and I'm sure they're just going to make it even better, and that is the team play version expansion for Adrenaline.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Detective City of Angels by Van Ryder Games. Now, this was on Kickstarter earlier this year, and it's supposed to be delivering later this year. It's for 1 to 5 players, takes anywhere between 30 minutes and 2.5 hours, and is for ages 14 and up. So, as I mentioned, it was on Kickstarter, and I was really excited about it when this Kickstarter came up, because you're going to be stepping into the shoes of LAPD homicide detectives, or I should say most of you are going to be. And you're going to be trying to successfully close a case. However, one player is going to take on the role of the Chisel, whose only goal is to stall and misdirect the detectives at every turn using bluffing, manipulation, and often outright lies. That just sounds so cool. The adaptive response card system in this game is used to create this feeling of interrogating a suspect. So the suspects don't simply just give a paragraph book response. Instead, the Chisel player, that single player, carefully chooses how they'll answer the questions. Now, detectives can actually challenge those responses, thinking that maybe they're lies, but it's at a great risk if they're wrong. So the Chisel will also acquire leverage over them, making the case that much harder to solve. This just seems got all the things working that I love. I love one versus many. I love the crime scene or crime type game themes. I love working together. I love this whole aspect where you can lie and they're trying to figure it out. And wow, this thing, it's a scenario-driven game. I think there are 8 base scenarios. Maybe there's more at the stretch goals and stuff. But I can't wait to go to the Van Ryder booth and try this one out.
Number 2.
Number 2 is Ultimate Werewolf Legacy by Bezier Games. It's co-designed by Ted Alspach, who's known as the master of werewolf games, and Rob Davio, the master of legacy games. So like the standard Ultimate Werewolf game, the game takes place over a series of days and nights, and during the day phase, the players are going to be discussing who among them's the werewolf, and they'll vote on a player, and then each night the werewolves will choose a player to eliminate, while the seer learns if one of the players is a werewolf or not. Now the game's over when either all the villagers or all the werewolves are eliminated. Now you no longer have a single standalone game, as players and the village itself have attributes that are retained between games, and that events that take place in the first games have an effect that ripple through all of the remaining games, hence the legacy aspect. As for the village, there's multiple paths that the game can take. And it's the result of the experience you have playing through the entire game will actually differ from someone else who's playing with another set of people. So this allows players to play through the campaign multiple times with different sets of groups or even the same groups, with different roles, rules, environments every time you play. There's an oversized 80-page diary, and this will walk the game moderator through each session. And it's also been designed so that players that have no previous werewolf experience, they'll be able to both play and moderate it. Players can jump in or out for different individual sessions, but ideally, you'll want all the sessions in a chapter to be played by in a single evening. So at the end of the 16-session campaign, the diary will be able to basically record exactly what happened in your village and who ultimately was responsible for what became over time. This sounds really cool. I can't wait to kind of see a little bit more of how it works, maybe play around and see how things might change. This is going to be coming out at Gen Con. I'm really looking forward to it.
Number 1.
Number 1 game that I want to play that's upcoming, that's not going to be for sale, but I have confirmed that it will be there, but I don't know exactly where because it doesn't seem like they have a booth on the Origins website, so I'm trying to find out. Number 1, Fireball Island. I backed this game with all of the expansions and the painted miniatures. I was one of those kids in the 80s that had Fireball Island, that loved it, that hopefully this will bring me back to nostalgic childhood memories, but much like Stop Thief, it's not just going to bring back nostalgia and be a crappy game. It's going to be an amazing game that was redeveloped by people that know what the heck they're doing. And I just have all the faith and confidence in the world that Restoration Games is going to knock this out of the park, because they always do. I'm just excited because, again, bring me back as a kid, implementing new mechanics, making it just as big but fitting in a smaller box, adding these different expansions. I am just super excited for this, and I know that we're going to be able to play that prototype island that's there, and I really just can't wait for it. Well, I hope this helped you find out about some games that maybe you didn't really know that were going to be at Origins to play, and then maybe it will get put on your radar to go check out. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I already did 2 other top 10 videos about Origins, top 10 most anticipated, and the top 10 games that I've already played that are releasing there. I'll put the links to those below me to check that out. If you want to see future videos from me, go ahead and just subscribe. And until next time, this has been the Game Boy Geek, helping you find and enjoy the next board game you'll love.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.